Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be doing our second harvest of the year, actually. Before we get into it, please give us a like and subscribe, and we really appreciate all y'all watching. So I went through the other day, a few days ago, I think it was, kind of gave a rough estimate on what we might be getting right now, and it's anywhere from 10 to 12 gallons, and if the frames that aren't capped turn out to be okay on our refractometer, we might have anywhere up to 15 gallons of honey right now. So we're looking at getting quite a bit. We're going to go and do this today, even though it's going to be hot, because we got to get it done. We need to treat soon, and starting next week, we're going to be in temperatures where we could actually treat with the formic acid, right? Which that one you got to be below a certain temperature, but above a certain other temperature, and we'll get more into detail on that when we actually treat. So I know we got 5 capped here, and like 14 or so capped over here on the big one. Then there's probably 5 to 6 over here. We did open up some entrances to try to help them get a little more airflow to try to dehydrate the honey a little better. A lot of people this year in our area have been talking about how they've noticed a lot of their bees haven't capped their frames, even though they're coming out at 15, 16% water, which is well below threshold. So we'll see what we do today. So our plan of action is going to be, Mrs. Jake is going to be on the outside of our wall. We've got this black pull behind cart, and there's a super in it already, empty, nothing in it. So what I'm going to do is I've got a table behind the camera right now that we're going to take a super off, go over to that table, just take the frame out, probably shake it off at the hive, and then I've got a brush we're just going to kind of flick bees off of. And I'm going to hand it off to Mrs. Jake, and she's going to put it in that empty super. Then we're just going to keep doing that until we basically get all these supers pulled off. And then it'll be interesting to see what the uncapped honey reveals moisture percentage-wise. Anything you want to add? Did I forget anything?
Are we going to be testing the uncapped ones with the refractometer while we're in here, or when we get them back to the shop?
I think when we're in the shop, we'll do all that.
Okay.
I think it'll be interesting too to go test the capped one, just to kind of have like a baseline of what it all is, you know, so we can figure out what our capped percentage is compared to uncapped, and see what it's like.
And well, when I went to a class extracting event last weekend, and some people had harvested completely capped frames, and it was like 19.4, which is kind of high.
Still within threshold.
It's within threshold, but it's a little bit higher. And then there was another person that had some, like they brought theirs even though the majority of them were not capped, just to see where it was at. And the uncapped ones were sitting around like 4.5, which is really low. And my teacher that was there running the digital refractometer, he said that it was likely because they weren't completely filled. That's why they didn't get capped, even though they were low enough.
See, and I wish I could have taken these classes, but with work and college that I'm doing, I kind of don't have time. But this next semester will be my last semester, and I'll be able to devote a lot more time to beekeeping. Well,
This
shall we
is why
get?
we work together.
Yes.
Divide and conquer.
Darn right. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right. So
Start.
I'll probably go right to. No, let's go left to right. Aduna, I know she hasn't. She never even worked in the top box, so that one I'm not even worried about. That super.
We're worried about her making it through the winter.
Yeah. And yeah. All right. Well, let's get rocking. I'll be checking to see if our queen is free in the Dorothy hive. We might be changing that name soon, just because Dorothy left, and we are sad about that.
And it's not one of her daughters, so
Yeah, it's a different girl.
maybe change the name.
All right, guys. I'll show you how we get the bees off the frames here in the next clip. All right, now I'm going to show you guys what I was talking about with pulling the frame out, shaking the bees off, and then brushing it. First, you got to break it loose. And I like the J hooks because you can get down in here like this. Pull that end frame right up. As you notice, there's loads of bees there. So I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna shake this off. Then, what you do, get your brush, just flick them. That way you're not rolling them. You're gonna piss them off too, just let you know. Yep. Excuse my language.
Excuse my language, sorry.
All right. Now I'm gonna take this to Mrs. Jake. All right, hand it off to Mrs. Jake. Now I'm just gonna keep doing that with all these, and we'll meet you guys in the shop. All right, guys, we're getting ready to start spinning and extracting. We got our station set up here. This is our little uncapping spot. Got a strainer, a wire strainer with cheesecloth so we can uncap right in here, then the honey will drip down. We got our 2-frame extractor here with a bucket there. We got it bolted to some 4x4s. That way it's got some weight. And I imagine we've got, let me think here. So 10, 15, maybe 18 gallons of honey here. Bees are already kind of coming in, so we're gonna get started on all this. Taking a bread knife right into our cloth here. Just cutting right down it. Then, beautiful. Roll that beautiful honey footage. Problem is, the other side's empty. Go ahead and set this on. Grab another one. This one's got both sides capped. Well, kind of did it weird, but here we go. And what you can't get with the knife, get little picky deals. You can just either pull them up like that, so you're uncapping it, or you can kind of scratch them, so it opens it up that way. Whatever you prefer. There's no super duper correct method. To some people there probably is, but I'm not a particular person on it. Mrs. Jake is. She'll sit here for 15 minutes probably. Make sure she gets it all undone correctly. Hey, Miss B. Just like that, we're ready to do our first spin. Okay, so right here we got a frame that was mainly, well, it is all uncapped, but we tested some out there in the apiary and we were seeing 19 to 17%. So let's see what this one is. If this one is showing higher than 20%, we're gonna let the bees have it. All right, I'm gonna use my dropper. Get a few of these. Ooh. And just put it on right in the center of the refractometer there. Let me grab another little bit more. You got to make sure that you got enough so you could actually get a decent reading. Okay. We'll close it, let it sit for a few seconds. Now I'm gonna look through it real quick. Kind of just hold it up, make sure your light is gonna hit it. I'm reading under 18%. Let's see if we can get that on the camera here. I don't know if we will.
Whoop, almost.
Let's do this. It's right there. That's what it's gonna look like. So that honey is good to go because we are under 18%. And that's what it's gonna look like with your refractometer, and that's how you do it.
You're gonna be in the video too?
Yeah. Well guys, we got the fall harvest done. We got just over 10 gallons. This one's full, that one's full, that one's probably got a quart or so in it. And we're just letting the cappings drain into it. Something different about these food grade pails is that the lid is a screw on. It's got a gasket here. I picked these up at Menards. It's something I saw on Wrangler Star when they were kind of doing a bunch of prepping in case something went bad with the coronavirus. They were wanting to ensure they had food. So I found these lids and kind of copied that. It seems to work well.
Way easier than trying to pop them on and off all the time.
Yep.
Oh yeah, right, Rowan.
Yep.
It was a long, hard, hot day.
It'll be hotter tomorrow, so we're glad we did it today.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 105 tomorrow. And then guess what? 2 days later, 48 degrees for a high.
Right, Dad?
Yeah. So it makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, good old Midwest.
The
Mom?
Yeah.
2 tools we used on cap the most was that scratcher and then the bread knife.
Right, Dad?
They worked really well. Yep. And we have a double sieve system that we let the extractor drain into.
And a lot of prophecy.
Prophecy.
Yep.
Progress.
Progress too.
There you go. So we already did a spring harvest, and I didn't really like the video how that turned out. Mainly my shop was extremely messy. It's not all put together right now.
Oh,
What
I
happened?
just broke off a piece of that with his foot, and he's not wearing shoes.
No, it was my foot. What's the matter?
No.
Your pinky.
What happened to Pinky?
Can I kiss it?
You got a sliver?
No, I think I accidentally got it.
Oh.
Okay, so we shot video for our spring harvest, but I wasn't too particularly happy with it because of how messy my shop was. It's not great right now by any means, but it's a lot better.
That and we've gotten the hang of doing this process down a little bit more.
Yeah, we went through this a lot better than we did the last time. All our supers with empty frames are sitting in cattle feed bunks right now, and the bees are going nuts, cleaning all that up. So it was a good experience today. All in all, we got just over 15 gallons of honey our first year. So that's a little over 180 pounds of honey.
I'm thirsty.
All right, we'll go get water. Actually, I think there's water over here.
There's water right there for you.
Here.
Is it cold?
It's,
Not.
so, any final thoughts, Mrs. Beer?
I think it went really well. We were expecting more with the amount that we pulled off of the supers, but I mean, it's condensed down so much more, so much less water content than with the spring harvest possibly that we did get
Here's
less
some.
because of that.
Here's some. I think, yeah, like Mrs. Jake was just saying, what was it, the spring harvest, super and a half equated to 5 gallons for us.
We got a little over 5 gallons, and then we just pulled 4.5 supers today and got a little over 10. So
There's definitely a difference, and it's got to be moisture levels. That's the only thing I could think of. Which, if you don't have a refractometer, digital or otherwise, get one. Because there were a few frames that we thought were good because they were starting to cap it, but they ended up being about
22.
Yeah, 22%.
But then
We did
there's
have a
a
lot
lot
of
of
fun.
others that were not capped that were lower, like 15, 17.
I think were showing some below 17 that weren't even starting to get capped.
Yep.
So the one that was kind of capped that was showing high, the bees got that. We gave it back to the bees. I ain't worried about dehydrating right now. That's about it for right now. We got our harvest done. The bees are condensed into their brood chambers. Our new queen is not released yet, but they're about done going through that candy. I imagine they'll release her by tomorrow, so we won't have to worry about that. I think we settled on a new name for that queen, and it's going to be Joan, from Joan of Arc. All right, guys. So I think we're done. So well, guys, we'll pray for your family. Keep praying for yours. I hope you're doing well whenever you are, wherever you are. Be kind, be healthy, be safe. You got another bee you want? No. All right, guys. Well, Ronan, you got any last words?
Take care of yourself.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll catch y'all later.